Y bien, una vez más les recordamos, el día de mañana empezamos a las 10 de la mañana en esta cancha. También les recordamos que la oficina cierra a las 4 de la tarde para que pasen a hacer sus inscripciones. Y también, bueno, la Federación Ecuestre Mexicana siempre a la vanguardia, los invitamos a que bajen el app de la Federación, donde podrán ver los órdenes de entrada, resultados en vivo, pueden incluso hacer sus inscripciones online. La Federación Ecuestre Mexicana a la vanguardia. También pueden localizar a Mauricio Esparza en este jurado si quieren sus videos totalmente gratis para que se los envíen por correo. Ya tiene todos los correos al día y a los que pidieron ya están en sus correos para que lo chequen. También pueden localizar a Rafael David los videos totalmente gratis en esta app. A las 3 en punto, jinetes, daremos inicio a esta prueba calificativa para la prueba del Gran Premio.
Dos, 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 dos. Ahí me escuchas. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Bien, se escucha bien. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. A ver, dame más ganancia al micro. 2, 3, para que yo ya la deje en sintonía de mis audífonos. O sea, yo ya le bajé, porque al momento de que me hablas es fuerte. Pero dale un poco más de ganancia. 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, haciendo pruebas. Bienvenidos a una vez más a esta competencia de saltos. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Bienvenidos sean todos. Sí. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Vamos al 2. Dos, 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 dos. 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Y haciendo pruebas. 2, 1, 2, 3. 2, 1, 2, 2, 3. Sí, ahí yo me escucho igual que el otro. 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3. Haciendo pruebas. 2, 3.
Yeah, they always test them all just in case.
for you.
Ja. Oh, fantastisch.
Fantastisch.
Dankeschön.
Bitte schön.
Les recordamos, jinetes, que esta prueba es una prueba calificativa para los jinetes que van a participar en el Gran Premio del día sábado. Prueba calificativa para los atletas, o sea, jinetes que van a participar en el Gran Premio el día sábado. Rafael, David. Les recordamos, jinetes, esta prueba dará comienzo exactamente a las 3 en punto. A las 3 en punto llamaremos al primer jinete.
Bien, vamos a dar las características de esta Copa Longines. Esta pista consta de 12 obstáculos, 15 saltos, tiene distancia de 490 metros, una cadencia de 375 metros por minuto. Tiempo concedido 79.79 segundos, el tiempo límite 158. Un baremo A con un desempate posterior. Desempate posterior, artículo 238.2.2. Este desempate posterior consta de 7 obstáculos, 8 saltos, tiene una distancia de 310 metros, un tiempo concedido de 50 a 50 segundos. Obstáculos a este desempate posterior, jinetes 14, 15, 10B, 11, 5, 6A, 6B, 7. Repito, 14, 15, 10B, 11, 5, 6A, 6B, 7. Un diseño de Anderson Lima, de México.
Test with the. Yeah, okay. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's live just now.
Ahí te está hablando. Sin tollback. Háblale normal. Es que nos tienes cerrados, nos tienes muteados tú. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. ¿Ahí me escuchan? Pero yo no tengo regreso. No. En mi diadema no tengo regreso. Sí, yo sí. Ahí estoy ya. Ahí. Ya se fue otra vez del regreso. Aquí no se ha movido nada. A ver, ahí estoy otra vez. 1, 2, 3. ¿Ahí me escuchas? Listen.
Yeah.
Ahí te escucha también, Adams. Abraham. Dos, 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 dos. Ahí ya no, ahí estoy. Ey. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Ahí ya no me, ahí me escucho. 2, 2, 2, 2. Ahí yo ya me escucho. Ahí yo ya estoy escuchándome. No escucho a Abraham, ¿eh? Ahí yo te escucho a ti, pero a Abraham no escucho. Un 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Ahí yo me escucho, pero no escucho a nadie. A ti sí, a ti sí. No, ya está la otra persona, creo que va a ir la otra chava.
Voy a estar de un lado al otro. ¿Necesitabas algo? Ajá, no, voy a estar también acá abajo. Ah, gracias. No, es que tengo que estar moviendo los ambientales y todo.
Ahí yo escucho, ¿quién me habló? Ya no escuché nada. Ahí lo estoy, ahí te estoy escuchando, bro. Ok. Ahí lo tienes. Sin tollback. Dice que va a estar por Facebook Live, que no tiene que tener el tollback.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. No. Yep. Well, hello and welcome to Copoban Bahio, where we are in Mexico, and I bet it's warmer here than wherever you are watching here this afternoon. But we've got some great horses coming forward, 35 in total coming forward, making up this field. And it's going to be a jump-off competition that we see. So our athletes starting in the first round, any tie for first place will take us to a jump-off. But you can see some big names on the screen, and starting right off the back with a horse called Babel. Nice 12-year-old for Patricio Pascual. A real nice horse, and he's going to be a great pathfinder getting us underway. Having a look down the line, Salvador Oñate, he knows this place rather well because it's in his back garden. Yeah, he owns the facility that this show is based at, and it actually used to run shows here about 15 years ago, had a bit of a break, and now back with a bang, hosting the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup. León, of course, a little bit later in the weekend. Jordan Coyle's here representing Ireland. We saw him jump in Guadalajara a couple of weeks ago. Simon Naziri for Israel, Rodrigo Lambre for Brazil, Paulo Amalibia representing Spain. Some real good field and some great horsepower coming forward as well. Sanderson Lima is our course designer. He's an FEI level 3 designer. He's sat out a real good test here today. A couple of big power lines, a few delicate obstacles on course as well. It's going to take quite a lot of testing out there actually, and it's going to have a time allowed of 79 seconds. Now don't forget, you can get involved with the conversation here if you're watching live on Facebook or live on YouTube. Let me know where you're watching. If you've got any questions or anything else along the way, then you can just generally get involved. But you can see there, the sun is just great here. It's about 28 degrees Celsius. Ground conditions are perfect. The riders are saying really nice things, and of course this is a brand new competition facility really. As I mentioned, they used to run shows here about 15 years ago, but they've had that big long break now, and now they come back with this World Cup event. That's hospitality that you can see up at the back. It's been pretty busy since this morning. A whole host of Mexican food being served up there. But everyone, really being supportive of all the nations. We've already seen a couple of competitions already earlier today, and if you're watching Guadalajara, you'll know when riders come to Mexico, it doesn't matter what nation they're from, the locals will always cheer for them, which is great to see. But just a couple of minutes now, the athletes will be in the warm-up, making their kind of final preparations, and then coming forward to join us. They're running 2 competition rings here at this venue, so this is obviously the main ring with the grass, and they've got an all-weather arena as well. Just behind hospitality, they've got a nice new clubhouse, lots of vendors.
Welcome to
There's a
the
real
highly
relaxed, nice feel here.
Longines FEI
Just a couple of
Jumping
minutes
World
away
Cup
now, we'll be
North
seeing that
American
first one
League
come forward. As I mentioned, 35 in total coming forward to make up that field today.
The series will once again woo audiences with
And it really is going to be a great competition. Fast jump off a bet, because I'm pretty sure we're guaranteed one today, having a look at the horsepower and the athletes that we have involved here in this one. But 12 obstacles and 15 efforts is what they're going to be faced with as we get underway here in just a minute's time. Great to have so many of you watching and getting involved in the conversation on YouTube Live already. Same on Facebook as well. People watching in Ecuador, which is great to see. I bet it's quite warm there as well. A few people from the UK watching, people from Europe, Australia. It's great to have you all with us. Well, we can see the first combination standing at the Longines Arch, about to get us underway. That's Patricio Pascual. He's going to be a great pathfinder actually, because he's done so much with this horse. This is a horse he took to the World Equestrian Games. He jumped double clear in the Nations Cup in Dublin to help Mexico secure gold. We've seen him win at Spruce Meadows. It's a horse he's really produced all the way up the grades. He's had it, bred it, and I'm sure he must be very happy now to see it competing at such a high level. And he's done all the hard work. There's his family involved with the sport as well. We're going to see his brother riding a little bit later on. There's a nice overview as well of what he's going to be faced with as he makes his way through the archway. Salvador Oñate's house just behind those trees. I mentioned he owns this facility, he grew up here. He's been here since his little boy. Final preparations now underway. Of that first one through the archway for you in just a couple of seconds' time. Laura Roberts is watching on YouTube Live. She's in BC, Canada. She says it's so cold there.
As the title partner and the official timekeeper of the series, Longines has a great pleasure to be associated with today's highlights.
So we'll take a look at the course as we get the first one on track. They're going to be starting with quite a delicate upright, and they've got a big powerful oxer, you know, some real power lines, including a triple bar, then down to a double of uprights. So, you know, there's plenty of tests out there, plenty of questions. It's certainly going to take some jumping here this afternoon. And of course, they need to complete the first round of this to be guaranteed a place to jump the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup León. This one acting as a qualifier would be the top 40 that qualify, but there's only 35 in it, so they've got to manage to complete a first round to make sure they can get through and jump in the World Cup qualifier here this Sunday. And of course, on the West Coast, this is the final qualifier. Just one more to go on the East Coast down at Live Oak. The first one coming forward now to get us underway. Representing Mexico, Patricio Pascual will be first with a 12-year-old Babel. Again, this is one that he has produced all the way up the grades.
And we're ready to
Didn't jump the World Cup with this in Guadalajara, had some other horsepower there, but it's brought out the big guns here in León. So let's see what he makes of this course. 12 obstacles, 15 jumping efforts, 79 seconds, that time allowed. Course designed by Anderson Lima. They come in, they get the 45 seconds to have a look around and need to pause the countdown. A little toilet stop, and you can see Patricio putting his hand up there. The jury would pause the countdown. So it looks like he's choosing to come off the left train. They've got that option as they come into the first fence, they can come left or right. So he's come off the left train down to this red and blue vertical, getting them underway as they land there. It's about 7 or 8 strides as they come down that bending line towards the Oxer at fence number 2. And then sending them up and around the top corner there as they come round towards the Oxer. Off the corner at 3. We're feeling a little bit fresh today. Down towards this 2-stride double. So just sitting up through that distance, so nice and soft through the air. A delicate plank at the other end there. You're going to see them sitting up and really taking a check, because it won't take much to knock that down. As they land there though, it's round towards this red and white double. It's Oxer in, upright out. Then down the bending line to the upright at fence number 7. Left-handed slightly on a dog leg down towards the Oxer at fence number 8. And then a real power line here. Really wide treble bar, then a double of vertical, so you can see him just trying to get Babel back. Nicely through that 1-stride distance in the double. And it's left-handed round the bottom. 78 seconds time allowed, 79 seconds time allowed. So plenty of time as he jumps down over this final line. And it's 72.67 against the time allowed, 79 seconds. So that's our first one gone, first clear. I have to say, he made it look rather easy, but you've got to remember, that's the horse he took to the World Equestrian Games. It's one he's used in Nation Cup teams that have gone on to secure gold, so they've got plenty of experience together. A great pathfinder. Great to see Babel looking so fresh and so well after a little bit of rest in Guadalajara. We're going to stay in Mexico. This is Antonio Chedraui coming forward next, a man who's been to 2 Olympics. He's got this 13-year-old gelding by Nintendo, Ninlu Bay, coming next to go.
Now in the course we have number 2.
I think it's some of the people that are watching on YouTube. We've got Rodent Razor in Washington State. Segasaurus says that was a nice jump. Yeah, Babel's a great horse. Barney's watching outside of Dahio Falls. Great to have you all with us. If you are there, let me know where you're watching. If you've got any questions or anything else, again, feel free to get involved either on Facebook Live or an FEI YouTube channel. So this is a horse that Antonio's jumped a few Nation Cups on. We've seen him jump World Cup qualifiers in the past as well. And seen him jump this at Spruce Meadows, and I have to say there, he always goes well. He loves the big open grass field, so I think this new venue will suit him. job as he comes into the double there. So just fighting slightly. I think that is a line we're going to have to keep an eye on. You can see how delicate that flank is on completely flat cups. Good job. Showing down that with a powerful oxer.
Ahí como que veo que me está lanceando y eso. Ok, como que quiere regresar.
Round towards the final line and then just takes that front bar off the oxer. Again, plenty of time, 76.53, and just takes one down. So Antonio Chedraui will finish on the 4 today, finishes on 4 here in round number 1. Well, if you have just joined us, we've got 35 in total to see, 2 being so far, and already 1 clear. That's Patricio Pascual of Mexico. Plenty of talent still to feature though as things continue. And it's going to be Mario Oñate that comes forward next. It's the Oñate family owning this facility. Salvador having a house just behind the trees that you can see at the back of the arena here. It really is a bit of a family sport. You know, Mario and Salvador both very much involved, have competed at the highest level. And this is a horse that Mario has owned since it was a 5-year-old, but Rodrigo Lambre has ridden it quite a bit. But good to see Mario back on board now. This is an 11-year-old by Chaco Blue, out of a Baldo Duraway mare. Some very nice lines in there. And Chaco Blue, probably the most popular stallion in Mexico at the moment. Just organising the stride as he came into that oxer. Lee Scuderi now watching in Rome. Charles Hanley, he's watching in Ireland. Madison Kiln says she likes the mark on this horse's nose. It's very unique. Just coming down to the left-hand side there. Sitting on that 4, coming down towards us. Very delicate double of verticals. If you're to pick a line to watch, it'd be the double of verticals, and then also that plank as well. It's just such a delicate little white plank sitting on top, but really deep there, but managed to climb out and didn't fall off, and then jumped the last in. He finally came down. So now the ground jury have got the decision to make whether or not he had crossed the finish line by the time he'd fallen off. Because that's how the rules in international show jumping work. If you can cling on until you're over the finish line, then you're good, you'll finish with your score. But if you land and it's the horse only that has crossed the finish line, then it's game over and you're eliminated. But the important thing is he is back on his feet, he is okay, horse is okay. So that's the main thing. And whether or not you get eliminated in a competition like this is actually more important than ever, because remember, this is acting as a qualifier to allow them to jump on Sunday, the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup León. And you've got to finish that first round. So if you get eliminated, then I'm afraid it's sort of game over unless you can come in here. Let's continue on then. Jose Enrique Suarez is next with Magno. He's a 17-year-old stallion, plenty of experience. Horse that's got a real upright neck.
Y bien, tenemos en la pista el cuarto binomio de esta Copa Longines de México.
Manuel y yo emitimos igual.
Montando a mano.
Well, the signal's given and we get underway. Jose Enrique Suarez of Mexico. Katie Ferguson's watching on YouTube Live and says, what a stunning chestnut. Just dropped his reins. Managed to pick up his knitting though as he came round the corner. Looks like he's riding in double reins, and that's quite a lot to hold in your hands. Cut across there at an angle. Those of you watching that haven't ridden with double reins before, you use where you put it through your pinky, that's normal, and then you use your ring finger as well, so you've got two reins going through two different fingers. It looks like he's just fighting a little bit down towards that ox there and just caught the front rail, so sits on 4 now. A lot of people use roundings now, so you can put the rounding on two of the rings and then still just have one rein in your hand. The idea is that the bottom rein is a little bit stronger, so you can only use that when you need to, and that's why we ride it. He has 2 rails down though, just over that time, 78.11. So he's going to finish with a time fault as well. The time allowed has been adjusted to 77 seconds. Just had that confirmed. It started at 79 originally, and now it's been dropped 2 seconds to 77. Patricio Pascual came in first and gave us that beautiful clear round. And as I said, you know, he made it look easy, but there's a lot of questions out there. And I think, you know, that was just a case of one of the better combinations going right up at the top. Antonio Maura next, Galileo de Laubre, 13-year-old by Cardento. He's had this horse a number of years. He knows the horse inside out. So quite a unique way of going, this horse, but he just sits quiet and he gets some really good results. We're 11th in the World Cup in Vancouver, 4th place in the 1m60 Grand Prix at Spruce Meadows last summer. He's used the horse for Nations Cups, so they've got plenty of experience together. Fencing and ski racing say on YouTube that they learned to ride in double reins and it was hard. It is quite hard until you get the knack of it. You don't really see double reins that much anymore. Steve Nielsen's watching on Facebook Live and says, yeah, a grey. I love greys, but it's so hard to keep them clean. Art McDonald also watching on Facebook Live. To have you with us. Katie Stazak's watching on Facebook Live, and Katie will be commentating with me this weekend, this Saturday, for the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup León. She's on her way actually from the airport just now, and that's good because I can't speak Spanish and she can. She's got to get herself here so I can have dinner. Antonio's making a great job so far. Another horse that really loves these big open arenas. This man's got so much experience. If you think of what he's done in the past, from the Olympics, World Equestrian Games, Pan American Games. See what I mean? He's got that unique way of going with quite a high head carriage, but it really works for them. 72.69. We do have that jump off. Antonio Maura jumps clear. 2 through, both for Mexico. Galileo de Library will feature Antonio Maura clear alongside Patricio Pascal. So that's the 2 clears we have at this stage.
And we have the second clear round of this qualifier. Antonio Maura, second rider to the jump off.
It's going to be a great jump off when we get there, and I think we're going to see some more clears. Plenty of talent still to feature here. Javier Fernandez standing by. This is a gelding by Mr. Blue called End Good, All Good.
In the ring, number 6 riding from
He's been
Mexico,
campaigning it here on the
Fernandez,
Mexican
aboard
circuit.
End Good, All Good.
Guadalajara, although we had the World Cup there, before World Cup week there was another competition, and he was second in the Grand Prix, so back on week 1 in Guadalajara. This is a horse he's been jumping quite a few years now. And when you look at what he did last year with some nice wins in the Cia and Balvanera as well. Looked like it had plenty of energy in Guadalajara. You can see this already. You know, he's quite a sprightly horse. I think he's got to work hard just to keep it nice and rhythmical all the way around. Try to keep it under control. Setting up and saying wait down that distance. See him balancing as he came round towards that upright. A little rattle there. It has come down a bit of a late faller actually, but it's down on the ground, so that's 4. Twisting through its back end there. Fastest 4-faulter we've seen, or the only 4-faulter we've seen, is on 76.53. Let's catch that time and become the fastest of the 4, 76.20. So here's the fastest of the 2 4-fault rounds that we have at the moment, so that goes into 3rd place. Javier Fernandez, End Good, All Good.
Javier Fernandez and End Good, All Good finished with 4 faults in a time of 76.20.
Twists a little bit through his body. So 2 clears we have. 6 combinations gone so far. Gonzalo Azcárraga standing by with quite nice. Another family that's really involved with the sport. His dad Jaime has been to 4 Olympic Games, and his brother Andre also involved with the sport as well. Let's see what he makes. But they've got that option when they come in here, either coming off the left rein or the right rein. I think most have decided to come off the left rein, and that might just help with that right-handed turn as you land. This is a horse he's had since 2014. So there are the athletes as well that went to Guadalajara during the first of the 2 weeks there. He finished 3rd in the Grand Prix. And actually, you know, if you think back to the end of last year, he was campaigning this at the La Cia competitions, and some real good finishes there. Susie's watching Whitney, France. Get its corner there, Susie. He's making a great job of this course so far. See him just saying wait. Really had to place him into that oxer. Jumps that last fence. Great round, 74.64. Gonzalo Azcárraga, and quite nice, will feature in that jump off against the clock. 3 clears, all from the home nation of Mexico so far. Gonzalo Azcárraga, Antonio Maura, Patricio Pascal. That's the 3 clears we have at this stage here in round number 1. Long way to go though, about 27, 28 combinations still to come forwards here in the first round. There's a lot of nice horses here, but this has to be one of my favourites. This is the combination that won the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup Guadalajara just a couple of weeks ago. It's a horse called Big Red. It's a 14-year-old Salvador Oñate on board this one from Mexico. And of course, this is Salvador's back garden. His house is just behind those trees there. He is riding on home soil today. This is the combination that were 5th individually, part of the team that took gold at the Central American and Caribbean Games. This horse has had a lot of good riders in the past, from Parado Pascual, Richard Spooner, Nicolai Heinross. They've all jumped this horse internationally. Rhythm, hasn't it? If this gets through to the jump off, that will certainly add some pressure on, because everyone knows just how fast that horse is. Puts in a great performance here in the first round, 75.06. And we're up to 4 clears at this stage. I have to say, they're all representing Mexico. We do have another few nations, though, still to come. What a super horse that is, though. Big Red goes clear. I mentioned we had another few nations to come, and we're going from Mexico all the way over to Ireland. Jordan Coyle, Bold Prince, comes forward now. I'm sure Jordan's enjoying the sunshine, because it will be absolutely freezing in Ireland today. He'll be used to the sunshine as well. He kind of splits his time between the USA and Ireland. Finished 4th in a very similar competition to this, actually, in Guadalajara a couple of weeks ago. Just getting himself organised there, making sure the horse is listening to him. This is a horse that Andy Coker bought last April, and Andy jumped it a little bit towards the end of last year, but then Jordan's taken over the ride, and he's been placing very well with this one. Andy Coker, who owns this, has got a real eye for a nice horse. He's buying and selling quite a lot of horses at the moment, but all real nice stock. Thomas is asking on YouTube Live, do you need to be fast or have no penalties? So in this round, Thomas, is all about staying clear and getting home within the time allowed. However, if it's a competition where you don't have many clears, then we look to the best of the rest from the first round to fill it up. So, you know, if we're awarding 12 prizes, which is the minimum in any FEI competition, and we only had 6 clears, then the last 6 prizes would be decided by faults and times. So if you do have an early reel down, you might see them just speed up a little bit, hoping to be one of the fastest 4 fault rounds and earn some prize money. But really in this round, it's all about staying clear and being home within that time allowed of 77 seconds. Then we go forward to a jump off at any time for first place, and there's only one single jump off in this rule format. Great horse, good round, 76.60. He is clear and he is through. So it's 4 for Mexico now, 1 for Ireland. Remember, he was 4th in a similar competition in Guadalajara. So definitely going to be one to watch when we get to that jump off a little bit later on.
And Jordan Coyle and Bold Prince finish with a clear round. Jordan, you're number 5 to the jump off.
Jordan having to work quite hard at times just to set up that nice stride pattern that he needed down some of those lines. Gerardo Pascual coming next, and Galvano of Van de Blaspo.
Representing Mexico, Gerardo Pascual aboard Galvano Van de Blaspo.
Of course, all the brothers involved, Patricio, Francisco, and Gerardo as well. This is a new one for him though. This is a horse he added to his string towards the end of last year. Jumped not too badly actually at Guadalajara during the 2 weeks of competition there. It's placed at San Miguel. All the brothers, you know, talented riders, and they've all ridden so many horses over the years that they can probably ride just about anything. Tap as he came through there, so sits on 4. Full time for him today so far. As Grace watching and says, beautiful course. Yeah, it's Anderson Lima who's designed this. He's a FEI level 3 designer who's assisted some of the very best course designers in the world, and now building more and more in his own right. I'd agree, you know, there's some nice testing lines out there, but really full, nice smooth course. He's going to finish on 8 jumping in 1 time today, a total of 9:77.99 for Gerardo Pascual, representing Mexico. Colin Thompson says, is there a link to see the start list? Colin, if you were to Google Longines timing and then click on equestrian, you'll find all the start list, the results, and a copy of the course plan on there as well. So just Google Longines timing and you'll be able to find all the information you need. Andy Mayer's watching in Norway. Marie Hughes says, are there no women in this class? Yes, there are. Just coming a little bit later on down that draw. Francisco Pascual comes next. His brother Patricio already through towards the jump off. Coronado's the horse that he brings forward, representing Mexico here in round number 1. Francisco's so well horsed at the moment. He's got Naranjo, who we're going to see later. That was the horse that got Mexico secure gold medal at the Central American Caribbean Games last year. And this horse was 6th in the Grand Prix in Guadalajara during week 1 of the 2 weeks there. Placed well at Spruce Meadows. Real classy type of a horse, this one. Won the National Grand Prix here in Mexico back in 2017 and was 9th in a similar competition in Guadalajara. You can see just how much scope it has, and it kind of says, let me at them. Nice and compact. Could turn into quite an exciting jump off. We've already got Big Red through, we've already got Mabel through. So we can add this one as well. Just going to jump this last fence. Time's absolutely fine. Yeah, super job. Francisco Pascual, he will be in that jump off against the clock. His brother's already there, Antonio Mauer's there, Gonzalo Ascaraga, Salvador Agnazzi, Jordan Coyle's in that mix as well. Some real nice clears. 5 for Mexico, 1 for Ireland, already making it through. About 23-24 left to jump here in round number 1. Here's another nation now. We're off to Israel. Simon Aziri Damore from Second Life Zed. 10-year-old mare by Diamond Desemele. Simon's been on the circuit a long, long time. He was a former World Cup finalist way back in 1996. But now he's really building up that string again. He's got a couple of different ones on the circuit, Clara P, Finferin Z. And this one, of course, this is a horse that USA's Kelly Rose jumped for the last couple of years, but Simon took over the ride internationally back in September last year, and though he used to live in California, he's now based here in Mexico. And then he took the horse forward into the World Cup qualifier in Guadalajara and finished third. So it's a really exciting time for him. He's building the width and the breadth of his string, and also starting to move horses like these up towards the top levels. Time allowed. He's going to be just over. Yes, he is. 78.57, just a touch steady today. So we'll pick up one time fault there. Simon Naziri de Moore from Second Life Z. That'll be good enough to get him forward into the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup León that takes place this Saturday. And this is the last qualifier on the West Coast as well. We've got another one coming in Ocala in a few weeks' time, but this is the last opportunity to earn some valuable points on the West Coast, and make sure you tune in this Saturday on FEI TV if you want to see how the action unfolds with that one. Right, let's get our next combination underway. Alberto Sanchez, Kazar, Union de la Nutria is the horse that he brings forward. It's the 11-year-old gelding. Another one with some good horsepower. He's got this one, and he's got another one called WAP.
And in the ring
on the circuit at the moment.
Representing Mexico, Alberto Sanchez Kazar.
Guadalajara, he finished top 12 in the Grand Prix back on week 1 there. Following the sport for a few years, you may remember Alberto used to ride for Spain, but then he got married and now represents Mexico. He's been successful actually. He was part of the team that took the gold medal at the Central American Games in Colombia last year. Finished 11th in the World Cup qualifier in Guadalajara just 2 weeks ago. The riders and the horsepower that Team Mexico have at the moment is just going from strength to strength. Everyone watched the Nations Cup in Dublin. Such a great performance for the team. As they look ahead towards Tokyo, a force to be reckoned with the way they're going. They've just been a little bit too strong today, and it just caught the back bar of that boxer. Who sits on 4 at this stage. To set him up down this line. Wait. Fastest 4 falter we've seen so far, 76.20. Too far away from that. Let's take a look. 76.19, so by 1/100th of a second, he's the fastest of the 4 fault rounds we've seen, and that takes him into 8th place. Like Thomas on, I think it was YouTube or Facebook, asked earlier about is it faults in time or just time, or how does this round work? So you could see he's now actually the fastest of the 4s, so that means he moves up just behind the clear rounds in that 1-time fault round we've got, and could potentially pick up some nice prize money. So if you do have a rail down, quite often you'll see the rider starting to just move up the speed a little bit and think about trying to get home a bit faster. Javier Fernandez is next. Shabakin, combination we saw in Guadalajara. He's 30 years old, this athlete. He's had some great results. And this is another one by Chaco Blue. As I mentioned a bit earlier, you'll notice a lot of the horses here are by Chaco Blue. There's about 150 horses jumping at the top level internationally by that stallion. And normally they're really clean through the front end, and if I remember correctly in Guadalajara, I think this horse is a good example of that, a real clean front end.
Shackle Blue horses do that. This is one that Andre bought out as a 7-year-old back in 2015 and has really been producing it on the grades. Just joined, watching on Facebook Live from another international show jumping competition over in Valencia, Portugal. Margot's watching in the USA. She says Pennsylvania to be exact. We'd like you to be exact. He jumps the last fence, 72.88. Real nice horse, very stylish through the front end and jumping clear. That went really well for him in Guadalajara. And of course we will see him back to fight it out against the clock a little bit later on. Caitlin Wright says she's going to the Longines Masters in New York in April, and she's really excited. We will see you there, Caitlin. It's part of the Longines Masters series. I'm actually going to their event in Hong Kong next week. And then New York's the next one for them, and then Paris in December. Rodrigo Lombre next to get underway here, representing Brazil. Chapilot, another one who was jumping at Spruce Meadows last summer. He's produced some great horses over the years. He's got to come in with some confidence. This is a combination that won the Grand Prix in Guadalajara during the first week and then had another win during the second week of competition there. But Rodrigo's one of these riders that really can get a good tune out of pretty much any horse. It's quite a big combination, but I know a few people on social media sometimes say, the length of the bit and stuff, and it doesn't look that great. But actually, when you think of how much experience the riders that have got that you're watching today, people like Rodrigo, it's much nicer to use the bigger bits, and then you don't have to pull quite as much. And these riders will put quite a bit of work in at home, finding the bits that these horses go best at. So don't always be put off when you see a bigger bit, because normally it means that you can pull half as much. Real shame he's just had that one rail down today. Little rattle there, was quite lucky with that one. Jumps the last and 72.25, so he's going to be the fastest of the 4 fault rounds. That'll take him into 9th place.
Fence number 7 comes down, 4
It's
falls
big pat for that horse, and that's one he thinks a lot of. Such a great horseman. Just taking down that one rail here today. Ricky Giles watching from sunny Florida. I was there at the Palm Beach Masters until 2 days ago. It was very warm there as well. But it did rain a lot. It doesn't seem to rain here in Mexico. Federico Fernandez next then. Davidoff. Another one of the Mexican combinations that are coming forwards here. One of the more experienced athletes in the competition when you think what he's done in the past. He's been to 3 Olympics, 7 World Equestrian Games, World Cup final, Pan American Games. And saw this jump in Guadalajara. Just had a couple of unlucky rails during week 1, but when you look towards the end of last year when he was jumping in Balvanera, this went fantastically well in the Grand Prix there. Wilson's watching from Vermont. Watching over in Europe. I think think Australia is the furthest we've been so far. So if you're watching anywhere further than Australia, then let us know. He just lost his shoes, he came through there. See it just rolling out the sort of bottom of your screen. Depending on the course of the horse, that can cause some issues because they do all wear studs or corks as they're known in the US, and that gives them a little bit of traction around the corners. So depending on what shoe comes off, it can cause issues. He's put in a great performance so far. Just keep an eye on the time. Oh, just inside. 76.95. He is inside the time, and he will come back for that jump off against the clock. Federico Fernandez. I'm sure he's going to go get that shoe tacked back on as well. Someone will find it.
Federico Fernandez makes it just under the time, a time of 76.
You can see that shoe rolling off there again.
And
this is actually Federico's wife, Paula Amalibia. Represents Spain with Julieta.
And now we welcome, riding for Spain, Paola Amalibia aboard
comparable
Julieta.
Competition over in Guadalajara 2 weeks ago, and then finished second in the World Cup there with a different horse, one called VIP. That VIP horse is one that her husband Federico brought out first. He didn't really get on with it. She took over the ride and has had some great results. It's just a 9-year-old, this one. And after Guadalajara, Paola was away to Scotland, to Glasgow, to try a horse there, which is a long way to go to try a horse. We were speaking to her last week, and she had an awful time because her car broke down on the way from the airport. Then her flight was cancelled on the way back. So I'm sure she'll be glad to be away from rainy Scotland, where I'm from, and back here in sunny Mexico. So she was born in Spain. She moved over to Belgium when she was 18 or 19, and then she met Federico Fernandez, who we just watched jump. And since then, they kind of split their time actually. Though they're based here in Mexico, they do spend a lot of the time of the year during the summer over in Europe. Tiny rider down towards his final fence. 77 time allowed. Pretty fine though. 76.69. Another one goes through to that jump off against the clock. So we're up to 9 clears. 9 clear. They've got 7 for Mexico, 1 for Ireland, and now 1 for Spain as well.
Paola finishes with a clear round, giving Spain a chance in the jump off. Number 9
Real tiny little horse that can really turn, so we'll keep an eye out for that when we get to the jump off against the clock. You can see it just kept that nice rhythm all the way around. Well, we've already got a strong field in that jump off. I'm sure we're going to see another couple. Miguel Torres Hernandez is next. Shacandera from Mexico. This is a rider who's been involved with the sport for many years. He's not even that old, but he went to the Young Rider Championships 11 years ago. So he's been representing his country from a young age. Some nice top 10 finishes with this horse in Guadalajara. This is the horse he brought out as a 7-year-old, so he's been going 3 years with it now. Showed some very nice clears, and well, he mainly jumps in Mexico. We have seen him head to the US, to places like Del Mar. Competed this horse in the Grand Prix there last autumn. This is another German-bred Chaco Blue horse. With this earlier, we were talking about how the Chaco Blue horses are through the front end. So it's another quite good example, perhaps not as much as the last one that we saw. You can still see that front end action that you expect with the Chaco Blue horses. Sandra Davies watching in New Zealand. That might be further in Australia, I'm not sure. They're kind of next to each other, aren't they? Andy Lafontaine says, great quality live stream. Thanks, great to be with us, Andy. And Jennifer Devana says, love her leg. Right, back to how long the lead we just saw, and that was a nice round, but 78-89, you can see him shaking his head and saying, oh dear, as he pats his horse there. But it is one-time fault. So it's going to take him down into 11th place. We've got those 9 clears, then Simon Naziri, the fastest of the one-time falters. And then Miguel Torres Hernandez heads into 11 on 1. Antonio Maurer then, he is next to go.
And we welcome back for Mexico,
He served as a chef to keep for the Mexican team in the past. You know, his brothers went on to compete at Olympic level as well. What can he do? Let's find out. Chapelle is the name of this horse. Another Chaco Blue one. This one out of a Calypso mare. It's quite interesting. You can keep an eye on who's coming off the left rein to the first and who's coming off the right rein. He's deciding to come off the right rein. The riders will have made that decision when they're walking the course. They'll have had a look where the first fence is. They know their horse, if it's better on one rein than the other. Keeping in mind that you want the right cantilever as you land to come down towards that Longines oxer, and then you're changing to the left. They will have thought about their horse's balance, whether it's better on one lead than the other, and they'll have made that decision before they come into the ring. It's not a random thing. They don't just look at how they get to that fence. They will have a plan. Well, hopefully they've got a plan. He's already clear with that first horse, Galileo de Libre. So now looking to get the second one through. Well, he's having a great afternoon, isn't he? 73-31. Antonio Maurer clear with 2 horses. Galileo de Libre and now Chapelle goes through to that jump off against the clock. He's going to have a busy afternoon. And remember, they come back in the same order as they jump clear in the first round, so he'll still jump Galileo de Libre first, and this one second when we get to that jump off. Nicolas Pizarro comes next, based in Mexico City. He's actually based at a facility his grandmother set up many years ago as a breeding facility. Now he's kind of taken it over, and there's a lot of training, lots of coaching there as well. But the horse he has is a 10-year-old called Carquilo. It's Nicolas Pizarro now from Mexico. He's had some great horses over the years. You might remember Crossing Jordan. That was a horse he took to the London 2012 Games and the 2010 World Equestrian Games in Lexington. Could this be the next Crossing Jordan for him? It's one he's had since a 6-year-old. It's now 10. So he's had it a few years just producing it up the grades. He's third in a similar competition in Guadalajara just a couple of weeks back. 10 in the Grand Prix at the Nations Cup event at Thunderbird last year, so got some good results. Ella on YouTube Live is asking how many are riding. There's 35 in total, Ella.
We've got 10 clears, we've got about 15 left to go. So if you just joined us, that's how things are looking at this stage. About 15 left, then we go to the jump off, and anyone that's jumped clear will come back over a shortened course, and they'll try and ride as fast as they can and leave the fences up. That's how it works. 77 time allowed, so he's got plenty of time as he comes down that line. Great horse, isn't it? 73.91. Nicolas Pizarro goes through from Mexico. Another one that's going to be coming back. Remember, with every clear we get, it adds a little bit more pressure on for our athletes because they know they're going to have to pull out all the stops when they come back. We've got some quick ones going near the start, where we said they were going to come back in the same order, so that means Babel and Patricio Pascual is going to be going right off the blocks, right first to go. So he'll be adding as much pressure on as he can, and then some real quick ones coming near the end. Make sure you stay with us for that jump off a little bit later. Gonzalo Azcaraga comes next with Fabio. There are a couple of horses involved. This is his second ride. It's a horsey. He's had this about a year now. He brought it over from Europe as an 8-year-old. I have to say, he's starting to become more and more consistent. He's already safely through with his first ride, so now he looks to take a second horse through. Is anyone from Portugal competing in this one? No, I don't think they are. We've got one from Spain, that's fairly close-ish. One from Portugal in this one today. Mexico, Ireland, Brazil, Spain, Israel, Uruguay. Fastest of the four falters, that's 72.25, but the amount of clears that we've got and then there's a couple on a time fault, I don't think the four falters are going to get any prize money here today. 75.32 is the time, finishes on the four. So he did the second fastest of the four fault rounds, takes him down into 15th place.
Fence number 8 comes down 4 faults in a time of 75.32.
Remember, in the FEI competition there has to be a minimum of 12 prizes awarded. Sometimes there's more depending on the number of starters, but today it will be 12 that's awarded.
Number 22 in the ring representing Mexico.
Interestingly, if we're doing an FEI competition, there's only 6 riders, they'd still have to award 12 prizes, so then the 7th would go to first, the 8th would go to second, and so on all the way down the line. It's always a minimum of 12. Jose Antonio Chedraui comes next, EIS Asora. Another horse that we saw compete in Guadalajara. And this rider really has been born into the sport. His dad rode to Olympic level. Jumped some real nice rounds at Guadalajara. Finished 5th in the Grand Prix there in week 1. And for anyone from Ireland watching, this is one that Cameron Hanley used to ride. He rode it last year actually. He was 8th in the Longines Grand Prix in Dublin. The top 3 finish in Aachen. Some good World Cup finishes. Jose got it from Cameron Hanley, and what an exciting horse for him to have on his string. And actually, if you think back, before Cameron had this horse, it was Dave Quigley, another Irish rider, who had it. Marlon Mondellos and Zanatelli took the ride. This is by a stallion called Tinker's Boy, which is the most successful Swiss show jumping horse ever. And that stallion has produced some great show jumping horses, a couple of eventers as well. If you like your breeding, this one is by Tinker's Boy. Inside of a dark mare, little rattle there. We didn't see that come down, we certainly heard it. You can see now it's the front rail off that oxer that fell, so sits on 4. will just be 4 faults for them today. 76-28 finishes on 4. But remember, they did finish in this competition, so that means that they have earned their place to feature in the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup. León this Saturday.
Fence number 8 comes
Final
down
of the
for
World Cup qualifiers in the West Coast Sub-League.
And Isaura in a time of 78.6.28.
Entra a la pista de México, Arturo Parada, que monta Víctor Kerbeck.
Sublake is now watching
now
from the UK on Facebook Live. Remember, if you are watching, feel free to say hello.
Arturo Parada riding.
If you've got any questions about the course or about the horses or about the location or just anything in general, I'll try and answer it. But get involved with the conversation. You can do that either on Facebook Live or on FEI YouTube. And this is Arturo Parada who comes next. Víctor Kerbeck for Mexico. This is a rider who's going to be celebrating his 30th birthday next month. It's a horse that we've seen jump over in Europe quite a lot actually, until Arturo added to his string towards the end of last year. So still a relatively new ride for him. Already though, you know, having some good results on his record with a top 10 finish in Malvanera last November. Seems a little bit unlucky in Guadalajara. It's got quite a unique big splodge of white just under its tummy, this horse. A little bit long, but you can see him just trying to keep it nice and sharp all the way around. Over the treble bar at a bit of an angle, setting up nicely for that right-handed dog leg. This is through. Oh, catches it with the back feet. 72-27. Bit of a heartbreaking fence for Arturo today. As I said, he's still getting through that horse. Jump much more rhythmical than we saw in Guadalajara. Putting a good performance all the way to the final fence. And you can see the frustration and disappointment on his face there as he wanders out the ring. This is the last line down here. Just to kind of look over this fence. He just caught it behind, just didn't quite get up in the air enough to make that nice shape. And landed with the back feet. Beth Moon's asking what's the highest jump on this course. Well, the highest one out there is probably somewhere between 1.55 and 1.60. We'll see more fences at 1.60 when we come towards Saturday in the World Cup qualifier. Kara Swartz is watching in New York. Sita Holgen, I hope I got your name right. You're watching in El Paso, Texas. Great to have you with us. And here's Jordan Coyle already clearing through with the first ride, and now comes back with another. This is Aristoff, a 10-year-old, the team at Elan Farm. The horse he's been jumping for about a year now actually. Finished 6th in the World Cup at Ocala last season. That was at Live Oak, and actually will be there in a few weeks' time. Can't believe it's almost been a year since he was there with this horse. That's the final qualifier in the East Coast Sub-League. He was at Spruce Meadows and some good finishes there, and jumped a nice double clear on week 1 of Guadalajara to finish 2nd. Of course, already through with 1. Job there through the double. See, he sits nice and light there with his hands, and only really takes the check, but he needs to. Goes down to the last, and what a great day he's having. Big Pat, 73.86, and he will take 2 horses through to that jump off against the clock.
Una pista limpia más para Jordan Coyle, esta vez montando a Eristo, número 12. Al desempate, Jordan.
Avery
And
Wheeler
Jordan
says he's pretty
now
good at
has
sitting up
two-
straight
two
and waiting until the base of the fence
horses
as he
in the
is.
jump off. Number 12.
Ireland's
to the
producing a
jump
lot
off.
of nice riders, and a lot of the Irish riders now over here in North America setting up businesses in places like
Tenemos
Wellington,
México,
Florida.
al mexicano Javier Fernandez monta Eye Catcher, JB.
Right, we're back to Mexico. Eye catcher JB. Jaime Azcárraga goes next.
In the ring, we have number 26.
He's won a
representing
lot
Mexico,
during
Jaime
his
Azcárraga,
lifetime,
riding
during his
Eye
career. He's
Catcher
been to 4 Olympics. You know, we saw his son earlier. This is a man who's been to 3 World Cup finals and jumped really well in Guadalajara. Finished top 10 in the Grand Prix during week 1. Mark Hutziger used to ride this horse, but now Jaime Azcárraga has the 10-year-old by Cantos out of a Berlin mare, Eye catcher JB. This is one he's had the ride of now for about 2 years. A long horse, and he has to work hard sometimes just to keep it together, to keep the canter nice and short and bouncy. Avery Wheeler says this is a beautiful horse. Whoa! Bit of a miss there. The judges haven't rung the bell, so they've considered that he did take off and jump that. I think he might have expected a bell there enough to re-jump it. Perhaps we'll have a look at that in the replay again. But he's popped a circle in there to rebalance, quite sensibly so. So he now sits on 8, 4 for the knockdown, and then 4 fault sided on for that little circle as well. Robert says this rider's super tall, and you're right, it becomes much harder as well when you've got a real tall upper body. It's so much core strength just to keep that straightness. It's not been his day at all. That's going to be game over for him today. You see him pull him out, so second disobedience on course. You saw him pop in the circle, that was the first one, then a run out at the last, and it will be elimination for him.
Unfortunately, Jaime Azcárraga has been
Carly
eliminated.
Blaze says good for him to take a breath and regroup after that bit of a miss. You could see that he just didn't see a stride down that line at all. I think he was going to go on the long one, and
Tenemos en la
horse
pista
might
de
just popped an
México,
extra one
Alberto
in there.
Sanchez Kazar, que monta Belair de la Nutria.
You'd see him lose his shoe as well as he came over fence 11. Just wasn't going to plan for him today. As Carla was saying on YouTube Live, I think it's great, you know, for these experienced riders, when something does happen, all they do is take a breath, rebalance, and then get on with their job, which is, you know, making sure the horse has a better finish than perhaps it started with. It's just not their day. Right, let's get Alberto Sanchez Kazar underway. Valer de la Nutria, the representative of the home team in Mexico. It's his second ride as well, I think, actually. Of course, he's got WAP that he took to the Central American and Caribbean Games, picked up team gold there, 4th individually, and he started this one 2 years ago as an 8-year-old and progressing up the grades. You find that a lot here in Mexico, actually. A lot of these Mexican riders do buy them young and, you know, really produce them all the way and then keep hold of them. In Europe, I think, you know, perhaps it's more of a sort of business where they're bringing them on or buying them at different stages and then selling them on. In Mexico, they seem to kind of stay together just slightly more. Maybe that's a pattern that will change, who knows. That was a bit of a domino effect coming out of the double. I think we could see that as he came in, just didn't quite have that rhythm he'd hoped for coming into the double, and managed to hold it together, but then came down on that back rail. Catches the first part of that double as well, so sits on 8 at this stage. this horse a nice finish now as he comes down this last line. Finishes on 8 jumping. Touch slow as well, so we have to add that time fault on, where the time allowed 77 seconds. He comes home in 77.44, so picks up that 1 time fault as well.
8 faults, 1 on the clock, totaling 9 in a time of 77.44.
For those watching that like to kind of count strides, you can see down that last line it's 5 strides, but when I walked it a little bit earlier, it walks quite a long 5 strides, and that's something that's important when these riders are walking the course. They'll know if their horse has got a long stride or a short stride, so they'll tell what they have to do, whether they have to, you know, sit up tall and wait, or whether they have to just put a bit of leg on and try and make up some distance. So they'll all have that plan before they come in after walking this course. Rodrigo Lambre, he's back with another one. Chakasamia, representing Brazil. Second ride was some a little bit earlier. This horse the last few months in San Miguel, and looking back to Guadalajara, which was the last big event here in Mexico just a couple of weeks back, he was double clear and picked up 8th. So the horse is on good form. I remember seeing him jump at Spruce Meadows as well last summer. He jumped some very nice rounds there. The last and super job, he's through 70.57. Rodrigo Lambre goes through for Brazil. 13 clears at the moment. 6 combinations left to go here in the first round as well. We might see 1 or 2 more clear rounds.
And a clear round for
see Rodrigo riding every single stride round there. It really was a team effort between him and the horse. Schulten said love the horse, that last one we just saw. Ella Jones says some riders are just beautiful to watch. Remember to get involved if you're watching on Facebook Live or on YouTube. Get involved with the conversation. We've got an exciting jump off still to come. Something else you could do as well is hit share. Let all your friends know how the action is unfolding. If you're on Facebook or you're on YouTube, do hit that share button and let them know they can watch all this top sport live from León, especially if wherever they are is looking a bit dull, snowy or rainy. Let them see the sunshine. Right, let's get the next one underway. Arturo Navarro back with a second ride. Cristina celebrated his 25th birthday last month, and he's got 2 or 3 nice ones jumping at the moment. But this is one that I bet might be one of his favourites, because this is when Edwina Tops Alexander was jumping around Europe and the Middle East. And for Edwina to be riding it, it must be pretty special. He's had the horse about a year now. See some good wins at the SIA events and top 10 in Guadalajara. Oh, I actually thought that plank might come down more. I don't know if you've kind of noticed his horses have been jumping it, but that plank is really, really narrow, which means it's light and it's on delicate cups. And the horse just looks like it's getting a little bit long for him now. You can see him there just saying wait. It's all about keeping that nice rhythm. You want them to land in the same rhythm as you took off, so they don't land kind of rushing and then you have to sit up and sort of really feel. It sits on 8 at the moment. Started to settle down a little bit towards the end, but it's going to be 78.048 for jumping in one time. Total of 9 there for Arturo. They've only been jumping together about a year, and I think, you know, once they kind of get that rhythm sorted out, they are going to be definite contender when it comes to these sorts of competitions.
En la pista tenemos de Uruguay a Juan Manuel Luzardo que monta Dalian Suali RB.
Juan Manuel Luzardo, Dallin Swally RP. That's
Now
the next combination we're going to see.
Uruguay, Juan Manuel
It's an old
Luzardo
ride of
aboard
Catherine
Dalian
Eckermann.
Suali RP.
Juan brought him out for the first time just this year, actually, about 3 or 4 weeks ago. But in that first week, he jumped 2 double clears and finished 2nd and 5th. So that's not bad for a new horse, is it? This horse with the last one, this one much more rhythmical. You can see as he lands, he just sort of lands in that same rhythmical canter as when he took off. The horse isn't kind of running through his hand. As you can see, he can just afford to set up a little bit softer. Real nice job of this. Looked like he just got quite straight enough coming into that double. Sure we'll be able to see that again in the replay in a sec. That was a shame. Getting a good performance there. She's going to struggle down that last distance as well. It's quite a long 5 strides from the oxer down towards the upright. He's going to finish on a total of 4. 75.78 there for Juan Manuel Luzardo. Dallin Swally RP.
Dallin Swally finished with 4 falls in a time of 75.78.
See, I just kind of cut across there. Set up a nice rhythm, then came down towards this double, and he sort of twisted and just caught it through the air. That's a real shame.
And now representing Mexico,
Not many left then.
Lorenzo
4
Fabi,
combinations
riding
left to
Queen
go.
Starling.
This one definitely always a contender. This is Lorenzo Farland, Queen Starling. This is one that put in a great performance at the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup Guadalajara. Also finished very well in the Vancouver leg at Thunderbird. Real nice rider. She knows this horse inside out. Whoa, just that's it. Whoa, well recovered there. You'd see her just taking a check to start the rhythm out, and then didn't have quite enough space to find the stride she wanted, so the horse really kind of helped her out there. She helped the horse out at the beginning of that line, and the horse helped her out towards the end of the line, and that's what it's all about. It really is a team effort out there. Certainly feeling good now. You can see though just how relaxed the horse is in the hand. It was just to take a check. As soon as she kind of drops her hand, the horse just stays relaxed. I think that's come down actually. Yeah, it has. That's a real surprise. The way this combination have been going. This looks a touch fresh today. This sport consistency is key, and normally this is one of the real consistent combinations out there. So it's going to be 4 today. Finishes on 4 in 73.86. Lorenzo Farland, Queen's Darling from Mexico.
Lorenzo Fabi finished with 4 faults in a time of 73.86.
Definitely a combination to keep an eye on. You can see her just giving a quick tap on that back rail, but when we get to Saturday in the World Cup qualifier, I'm sure she will be there. Just 3 then. 3 left to go in the first round. Ruben Ramirez is next. Darisma Vidial. An 11-year-old mare by Doctro. This is a horse that was bred in the USA. Ruben, one of the younger athletes, we'll see. He's just 21. Been together about a year now. Got a couple of wins on the international circuit. This horse tends to have quite a high head carriage. Same double again. First part coming in, comes down there for Ruben. So we're still on 13 clear rounds at this stage. Kathleen Toth's just watching. She's just joined from California. Great to have you with us, Kathleen. Again, if you are watching on Facebook or you are watching on YouTube, do hit that share button, let everybody know. They can enjoy some great sport here this afternoon. And now's a good time to do it, actually, because we've got that jump off coming. And it is going to be very quick indeed. He sits on 8 then as he comes down towards his final line and makes the time. 75.25, 2 down, and it's 8 jumping there for Ruben Ramirez. Turismo VDL representing Mexico finishes on that total of 8.
2 rails come down to 8 falls in a time of 75.25 for Ruben Darío Ramírez.
En la pista tenemos de México Eduardo Sánchez Navarro que monta y canta.
Just twists and catches with the back legs as he comes down there.
Mexico, Eduardo Sánchez Navarro riding Si Canta.
Eduardo Sanchez Navarro, another rider who travels a lot. This is Si Canta. Just had a 1 down in the Grand Prix at Guadalajara during week 1 of their 2-week tournament. This is a horse he took to Spruce Meadows last summer, and it's one he's had since it was just a 5-year-old. It's now 11. By Sir Shutterfly, out of a Cantos mare. Real good performance today. I think it does help, you know, he knows this horse incredibly well, having produced it up from being a youngster. See the chat on YouTube is getting very technical now. Nicole Link says grey horses look so nice in navy blue. They do. It's all about the fashion. And it's all about jumping great rounds, which is what he has just done. 72.71 there. Clear for Eduardo Sanchez Navarro. We're up to nice round 14.
Para el mexicano Eduardo Sánchez Navarro y Si Canto, que obtienen el número 14, 14 al desempate, Eduardo.
And another clear round now.
Clean with his back end, that horse.
Navarro. We have 14 riders coming back to this next jump off.
En la pista de México tenemos a
One combination then left to go. Hector Torres and Nepal stepping forward. Now, all the athletes we see have, you know, a good string of horses, but actually this is the only one that Hector jumps internationally. Does travel around a little bit though. You know, last year we saw him jump this over in Valencia, Portugal, and Madrid as well, Lisbon. now starting this year over in Mexico. First time out for them in 2019. At this stage, let's see if we can make it 15. But we're heading through to a jump off against the clock in just a minute or two. So if you are new to the sport, if you haven't seen how it works, everyone who's tied for first place, which basically means they haven't had any fences down in the first round, they've come home within the time allowed. We've got a lot of those. They come back and they're going to jump a shorter course, and they're going to try and go as fast as they possibly can. So when we get to the jump off, it's the fastest one with the lowest number of faults that's going to be crowned our winner here today. So make sure you stay with us for that. He's just going to come down and jump this last fence, then he'll get there, but he's got to be home within 77, and he's going to finish with one time fault. 78.41. Clear jumping, picks up that time fault today. Hector Ortiz, going to be frustrating, but you know, his horse still put in a real good performance today. You can see him give it a big pat on the way out. Frustrating, but can't be too disappointed.
One time fault in a time of 78.41. Keep the 14 riders to the jumper.
Well, we start a total of 35 here in the first round. It's going to be 14 that progress through to that jump off against the clock. Here's your runners and riders. Patricio Pascual is going to be getting us underway. He was actually first to go, made it look so easy, and then we've had some nice clears to follow on. Antonio Myers in there, Salvador Añate, Jordan Coyle, he jumped a couple in the first round. Francisco Pascual in that mix as well. Paula Amalibia, Federico Fernandez, husband and wife actually coming next to each other. Antonio Myra, you see Jordan Coyle's second ride there. So they're going to come back in the same order as they jump clear in the first round. That means, you know, our later ones are going to maybe technically have a little bit of an advantage, but for those that are coming early in the draw, they've got to come in, they've tried to try and put as much pressure on as they possibly can. You can see the rest of the placings there based on faults and time from round number one. So Anderson Lima is our course designer. He is going to get us ready for that jump off against the clock. It's going to take about 5 minutes. So while he's doing that, do stay with us. Do keep hitting that share button. Let everybody else know that they can come and watch what is sure to be an exciting jump off. Stay with us. It's on the way in just a few minutes' time. top corner there as they come round towards the Oxer. Off the corner at 3. But a delicate plank at the other end there. You're going to see them sitting up and really see them just trying to get Babel back. Nicely through that one stride distance in the double. Here's the list of the runners and riders that are coming back for that jump off against the clock here as we get ready for which is sure to be an exciting jump off. Patricio Pascual and Babel gets us underway. We've got Antonio Maurer coming forward, Gonzalo Azcaraga, Salvador Añati. Jordan Coyle's actually scratched his second ride, so he's only got one coming back now. Francisco Pascual's in there. We've got Federico Fernandez, Paula Amalibia, Rodrigo Lambre. I think we've got some quick ones near the beginning, maybe a little break in the middle, and then a real exciting finish to look forward to. But anything could happen. If you're used to watching show jumping, you'll know that by now. Sometimes you need a little bit of luck on your side. But our course designer, Anderson Lima, is making his final preparations out there. He's got an incredible crew working with him. And then we'll take a look at that jump-off course. Who is going to take the win? Of course, they're all looking ahead as well to the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup León. The last of the World Cup qualifiers in the West Coast Sub-League. Last chance to get some viable points is they all try and qualify for the World Cup final in Gothenburg a little bit later in the year. So make sure you get it in your diaries. You can watch it live from sunny León here in Mexico on FEI TV only this Saturday. It's got to be on FEI TV, so it won't be on Facebook or YouTube. But FEI TV is where you can go to watch that was on Saturday. As always, great to have so many of you watching on the FEI YouTube channel, FEI Facebook Live as well. And if you want to tell me who you think is going to win, feel free to do that in the comments. And let us know you're watching, let us know you're enjoying it, just let us know you're there basically. That would be great. You can get involved with the conversation as we get ready to get started with this jump off. But you can see just some of the spectacular views that we're treated to here in León. This is a facility that one of the athletes you saw jump, Salvador Añati, this is actually his house there behind the trees. So this is his backyard. They used to run competitions here about 15 years ago, then they've had a bit of a break. But all the riders were commenting just how well they've done with the footing. The footing is absolutely superb out there, and it's great to see, more grass competition facilities. So up until now, Mexico's only had one World Cup qualifier in Guadalajara, and now it's got a second here in León. The sport really is growing here in Mexico as well. They've got so many international competitions, making it easier for them to produce horses. And I think that's really helping. When you look at just how many top horses are coming out here. If you look at how they went at the Dublin Nations Cup back, towards the end of last autumn. I think, give them another couple of years, maybe even towards Tokyo. They're going to be real contenders. But great to have so many of you with us. Get ready for this jump off against the clock. It is going to be super exciting. Nicole Vernon says, best of luck to everybody. Kitty Cat says, I root for the girl. Well, Paula Amalibia is our only female rider coming forward, and she's definitely in with a shot. She had some good rounds with another horse called VIP in Guadalajara. She's got a great string at the moment. So definitely in with a chance. The King says his money is on Jordan Coyle. Jordan actually qualified 2 horses, but I have heard he scratched Aristov. He's not coming back with Aristov. He's only going to jump off Bold Prince. So he qualified 2. But of course he'll still be eligible for the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup León here this Saturday. A lot of these riders will be kind of targeting for that, but also wanting a good finish here to pick up some prize money as well, of course. See, hospitality's full, and I'm sure this grandstands will be full here as well as the weekend continues. Just getting ready to see that first combination coming forward in a second or two. There's anyone watching that doesn't kind of know the sport very well, so our athletes get to walk this course before the start of the first round. They don't get to walk again before the jump off, so some of them, when they're walking for the first round, will take a look at the jump off course and plan just in case they go clear. I think for a few they might think that's unlucky, so they wait till they go clear and then they'll try and get somewhere high and have a look at some of the turns and stuff they're going to be taking. But I'm sure with Patricio coming in first to go, a lot of the riders will be keeping an eye on him and seeing what turns he does and where he can try and save up some time. Well, Link is asking, when designers make a course, what percentage of riders do they want to make it to the jump off? Well, I think at the lower levels, you know, your sort of more novice competitions where people are just starting out, I think 50% is a good shot. But really at this level, I don't, you know, if he'd only ended up with 6 clears today, he wouldn't have been disappointed. Because the course designers will take into account the riders that are here and the horses that are here. But, you know, when it comes to something like the World Cup on Saturday, which is going to be a qualifier for the Europeans and the Olympics, because you can get a certificate of capability out of that competition, they've got to meet certain specs. So they've got to have 2 verticals at least a metre 60. And the course has got to be technical because it is going to be a World Cup here on Saturday. So it's not really about a percentage. They've got to look at the horses that are here, they've got to look at the riders, but they've got to set a test that's suitable and meets the rules of the competition, and then kind of what will be will be. See on screen just some of the highlights here from round number 1. Got some great sport here in León. Hard to believe this is only the first year the competition's been ran here in such a long time. Be great to see, you know, some of these top horses coming out. There's Jordan, he's going to be back for that jump off in a second. And it looks like we're set and ready to go. And this is going to be interesting because I would say this is one of the favourites in the jump off. Babel gets us underway. Patricio Pascal rides for Mexico. This is a 12-year-old gelding. One with tons and tons of experience.
And we're ready to start this jump off for this.
And we'll take a quick look at the test here in the jump off. As
in the ring we
Patricio
have the
gets on
first
course.
rider representing Mexico, Patricio Pascal, aboard Babel.
Starting this time right up at the far end, away from the in-out gate, and we're going to be starting over a new fence. It wasn't in the first round, it's a CWD upright. That's fence number 14, up in the shadows there. From here, it's left-handed. Now, this was jumped as a treble bar in the first round. It's now an oxer, so they've renumbered it as 15. Then from here down to the second part of the double from the first round, so that's 10B, the Longines upright. Left-handed, round the bottom corner, as tight as you like into that oxer, fence number 11. And then coming down towards the plank at fence number 5. It looks like, yep, they've swapped that out to a pole. So that'll encourage the riders to keep coming forward and maybe just slice over a bit of a diagonal. Through the double there on the long side, 6A, 6B. And then we come down towards this final fence at fence number 7 and 37. 77 is the time there for Patricio Pascal and Babel for Mexico. So that is going to put the pressure on for our remaining athletes.
And the first rider, Patricio Pascal,
to come right off the starting blocks there, put down a great performance.
77, clear round in a time of 37.77.
See him nice and tidy through that turn, didn't waste too much time other than that kind of odd little buck here and there. They're going to go much faster than that. Perhaps they'll go a touch faster. Let's see though. Antonio Maura about to get underway. Galileo de Laubry.
Antonio Maura aboard.
He's got 2 horses involved with this one. We're going to see him with Chapella a little bit later. Just get themselves organised there. Wendy Somerville's now watching in Florida. Lorenda Ethorn from Cornwall in England. It's lovely in Cornwall. Bet it's freezing there today though. Antonio can do. We know that time now. 37.77 time to beat. So all the riders and the horses will have different levels of experience and different goals when they come into today. Some will be in it to win it for sure. Others will be looking for that double clear, picking up some prize money perhaps, and just setting themselves up for a good weekend. So it really depends on what their plan is today. Just catching that rail, that wasn't his plan for sure. Taking the front bar off the Liverpool oxer. So now it's about getting a nice tidy finish. Because Patricio came in and put a lot of pressure on, you might find that some of the riders who are in it to win it today just take maybe the sort of chance they wouldn't normally because that pressure's been applied. He finishes on 4 though, 39.47 the time, and 4 for Antonio Maurer, Galileo de Laubre. 11 combinations still left to jump off here.
In a time of 39.47.
En la pista de México, Gonzalo Azcárraga montando a 5.95.
And now for Mexico, Gonzalo Azcárraga.
Gonzalo Azcárraga,
Riding
he is next. He's having a look at that turn. But that was a plank in the first round, and that'd be much more difficult in a jump off. You'd have seen them kind of slowing down into it. I think that's why Anderson Lima, our course designer, decided to put a rail on top there, just to encourage them to keep that nice forward momentum. This horse is called Quite Nice, Gonzalo Azcárraga from Mexico. Just starting at a nice forward pace and keeping up that speed, got really tight in there. That forward tempo all the way around. She's got plenty of scope. Maybe just a touch wider than Patricio. Not far away though. He's going to be biting his nails in the wings somewhere. 37.77 is the time to beat. Comes down towards this final. He's not going to be quite quick enough though. 38.44, not far away. Young and talented Gonzalo Azcárraga goes down into second, pushes Antonio Maurer to third, and Patricio Pascal still leading the way at this stage. Very good try there.
A clear round in a time of the second fastest time so far, 38.44 for Gonzalo Azcárraga.
Well, it's going to get very interesting here because there's some real quick ones still to come. We're heading on now to Salvador Oñate, Big Red. This is the horse, of course, who won the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup in Guadalajara just 2 weeks ago. This horse has been on flying form recently. Your jump off round actually starts when you cross the start line, or perhaps even before that, because you want to have that nice forward momentum, cross the start line and start the timer. And it's equal at the other end. It doesn't finish till you've crossed the timing gates. $37.77 to beat. Oh, it's going to be close. Let's have a look. 38.52. Actually goes down into third. There's not much in it now. Separating our top three. Salvador Oñate into third with Big Red. A real nice jumping horse. And I'm sure one that we will see in the World Cup on Saturday. Make sure you join us for that one on FEI TV.
Third place up to this moment for Salvador Oñate and Big Red.
Those with a bit of a later draw. We'll be keeping an eye on these early horses. So although you get to walk it, it's always nice to see what the ones in front are doing.
Now in the ring we have representing Ireland, Jordan Coyle, riding Bold Prince.
Let's turn our attention now to Ireland. Here comes Jordan Coyle, Bold Prince. 37.77, time to beat. Jordan just taking a bit of time just to get himself organised, get himself set up. Today you can see right from the get-go he's thinking forward all the way. And then just sitting back and saying wait into the delicate upright. Ah. Just tried to turn through the air there, and I think the horse's feet just caught the front rail. Again, just didn't get up in the air over the upright. Looks like he's having to work quite hard now just to say wait. The horse is really not listening to him round the corner. And if the horse isn't listening, the last thing you want to do is try and jump up over an upright or an oxer of that size. As you can see, he just pulled up, he'll get organised again and then come round. And from now on here, it's really about education. You know, he's out of contention. It's all about making sure the horse has a nice finish, thinking ahead to the next competition, whether it be tomorrow or next weekend or next week. Just not his day. Finishes on 22. 59.39 there for Jordan Coyle and Bold Prince. Again, with someone like Patricio Pascal going right off the starting blocks today and setting down such a tough challenge, they all know they have to pull the stops out as they come forward.
En la pista tenemos al número 6 del desempate, representa a México, se llama Francisco Pascal, monta Coronado.
Well, we know Patricio Pascal leads, and it's now his brother, Francisco Pascal.
And now representing
Coronado.
Mexico, number 6 in the ring,
representing
Francisco
Mexico here
Pascal,
today.
riding Coronado.
Nice compact horse that you can really kind of turn through the air. Covers the ground as well through those open distances. Just powering on down here. A nice angle to get that right-handed turn down to the double. Takes a flyer down the final line. Look at the time, 36.27. Francisco Pascal pushes his brother down into second place here today. Patricio Pascual goes to second. Gonzalo Azcárraga into third place. And Francisco Pascual says, beat that. 36.27. New challenge and new time to beat.
Francisco Pascal and Coronado fly right into first place so far with a time
big open
of
stride.
36.27. New time to beat, 36.27 of Francisco Pascal.
Again, that news is going to filter backstage now. The rest of the riders know it was tough, but now it's even tougher. Torres Hernandez and Chabacon jumped very nicely in Guadalajara with this one.
Riding Chabacon.
Let's see what he can do today. I thought Patricio's time was fast, and then Mexico comes in and beats him by about a second and a half. See that time on screen to beat 36.27. Really gonna have to power down this line. Whoa, takes one out. It's 36.51. Super try though, goes into second place. Andre Torres Hernandez heads into second. Patricio Pascual goes to third. Francisco Pascual sitting right up at the top still, 36.27. Can anyone beat him? We'll have to keep watching to find out. Keep hitting that share button as well. Let everybody know they can watch this jump off here in León. As it might just keep getting faster and faster. Here's Federico Fernandez next, Davidoff.
Federico Fernandez riding Davidoff.
So 36.27 then, time to beat. There's another one with real, long, top international experience. Just a touch steadier, I think. Little rub there on the oxer. If you want to keep up to date with the times and the leaderboards and stuff, just search for Longines time and click on Equestrian, and then look for the León graphic. You can click on there, select the competition, and you can keep up to date with the leaderboard and how things are looking in the competition. You can see the start list and even the course plans there as well. That was a good try for him, just a touch steadier, 39.69. Just going to take him down to 6th today. Like we were saying at the beginning, each of these riders will have a plan when they come in. Are they going for broke? Are they wanting to, win at all costs today? Or are they looking to produce the horse for a little bit later in the weekend? Or is the horse just kind of learning how to go fast? They'll all have different plans today. And I'm guessing his was to get, a nice clean effective double clear. And that's exactly what he came in and did today. So much to like about that little horse though.
Now we welcome for Spain, Paola Amelibia.
This is Federico's wife now, Paolo Amelibia. With Julieta, represents Spain. Normally very quick against the clock, she's very competitive. Actually has had that first fence down. That's going to be frustrating for her today. Because of that, I think she will go a little bit steadier than perhaps she would have. Going to finish on 4 today, 35.23 the time for Paola Amelibia. Julieta finishes on a total of 4 here in that jump off.
Julieta falls in a time of 45.23.
Just how scopy that horse is though, jumped fantastically well in the first round. So Francisco Pascual still leading as we go to Antonio Mauro Chapela. Saw Antonio a little bit earlier. He finished on 4 with his first ride, currently ranked 7th with that one. Now back with the second horse. Nice forward rhythm to start off with. Just a touch steadier than Francisco was. He's up round there though. You see that coming from a stride out. Just didn't really get its eye locked on, didn't straighten up as he came in there. Little rattle as well on the Oxer as he comes across, but stays on 4 down to the last. He's not going to be far away from the time. 37.06, so the time was good enough for 3rd place, but with that one rail slots him right down and into 7th there.
For a to the time of 37.06 for Antonio Malver and Chapela.
Really is all or nothing with the pressure that's been added on by Francisco. Try and come anywhere near his current leading time, you've got to pull out all the stops. This is a real tidy little horse, this one. Definitely in with a shot, I think. Nicolas Pizarro, Carquilo from Mexico. Has the first. It's a long way home in a jump off if you have the first fence down. It's quite an unassuming vertical, that first fence, but it is out in the shadows, and sometimes horses going from light to dark can affect things. Fastest for falter we've had so far is Antonio Maurer, who sits in 7th, 37.06. He'll just be wanting to challenge that position now, but he's not going to be that quick actually. Jumps to last, let's have a look. 39.93 is the time, so it takes him down to 9th place. Second slowest to the four fault rounds we've had so far.
4 faults in a time of 39.93 for Nicolas Pizarro and Carquilo. And now representing Brazil, second to the last rider of this jump.
Is it over? Just 2 combinations left to go. 1 for Brazil, 1 for Mexico. Rodrigo Lambre is second last. Shakamiya. .36.27 time to beat. Forward rhythm all the way around. Oh, catches the front rail there on the Oxer. So we know it is Mexico that's going to win today. Francisco leads, and then one final Mexican rider left to come. Fastest 4's on 37.06. It's a little bit steadier than that as well. 41.98 is the time there, so that's going to go down into 10th place. So still guaranteed some prize money. Remember, a minimum of 12 cash prizes up for grabs in any FEI competition, so he goes into 10th. 1 combination left to come. So he just didn't quite get straight enough as he came around towards that Ox, so just caught the front rail. Well, is it over? Has Francisco done enough? He's only got 1 more combination to contend. That leading time of 36.27. We're going to finish things here with Eduardo Sanchez Navarro, Cicanta, representing Mexico.
Eduardo Sanchez Navarro with Cicanta. They will try to beat the fastest time so far, 36.27.
We'll leave all the fences up and get home 26.27, 36.27 or faster. That's the challenge there for our last to go. A look at a couple of the turns as he came in there. like he's going to give it a try. Maybe just a touch steadier down this distance. Cisco is just slightly further ahead at this point. It's quite deep there. He's not going to be quite quick enough today, but he's going to get a nice piece of the action as he jumps over the final fence, finishes in 40.92, so he will finish in 7th place. So 7th is where Eduardo Sanchez Navarro will finish today with Sicanta. That means it will be Francisco Pascual who takes the win today, representing Mexico. 35 starting in the first round, 14 clears. And the Pascual brothers really set this alight, with Patricio coming in as our first to go, laid down a tough challenge. Torres Hernandez went a little bit faster, and then Francisco Pascual really set things alight. 36.27 will be that winning time today. Coronado takes the win for Mexico. Well, you can see this competition here at the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup León. It's the 13th of 14 legs in the North American League, and as the sport continues here this weekend, don't forget to watch the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup León. It takes place this Saturday, and the only place that you can watch it is on FEI TV. So make sure you log on there, get yourself organised with a subscription, and you can join us for that one on Saturday. Thank you once again to everybody who's been joining in the conversation here this afternoon, whether it's on Facebook Live or on YouTube. Been great having you with us, and enjoy the presentation. It's on the way in just a couple of seconds time. Congratulations to Francisco Pascual, and we'll see you back here very soon for more live action from León.